security, cybersecurity, DevSecOps, security, like so many labels. Security is on everybody's mind, of course. So it's a big part of the RHCE certification. And it's been a minute since I recorded the last video, a couple of months, I think. And so I feel like a recap of like on the last episode of RHCE and the Ansible Ninja. There's an Ansible Ninja? Oh, okay. It's got a ring to it. I was going to say the Linux Ninja, but Ansible Ninja, I am not. So if you don't know, I am studying for the RHCE. I'm not taking the certification, so I'm not spilling any beans. But you're studying with me. We're studying together. This is a community, back and forth. Leave comments, likes, subscribe, click. That sounded weird. It sounded better in my head. Anyways, so EX294. This is supposed to be fun. Lively, fun, loose, goose. Objectives. If we check out this sentence right here, be able to perform all tasks expected of a RHCSA, which I've done. Check out that playlist. It's amazing. It is pretty vague. Awake? I'm awake. Manage security. That means to be able to use SE Linux, configure it using Ansible. I am 99% sure. Because if we scroll down to the bottom, it says security again, and automate standard RHCSA tasks using Ansible modules, which you did during the RHCSA was set a bunch of SE Linux stuff. So let's jump over to the terminal and let's get this party started. Fire up NVim. I know during the exam, I'm not going to have a fancy smancy SeliJ NVim with all the colors, etc. But I like things pretty and life is too short. Let's just have some fun. Let's create a file called sclinux.yaml. Open that one up, declare that it's a YAML file, and give it a name, set sclinux state, hosts, node 3. We could run it against all, but one is enough for this demonstration learning experience together. Tasks. But first I want to, because this is an SE Linux thing, I do not want to half mangle something and leave the server in a broken state because it might reboot and then it's going to hang. So let's do Ansible doc. It's super important thing for us to know is where to look for information. So help is always good. Ansible doc. T for type, keyword. I want to see all the keywords. Then you have to do -L, list them all. But I know the one that I want has error in it. I don't know anything more. Any errors fatal. That's the one that I want. I want the whole shebang just to stop ASAP true if there are any issues. So that is good. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to use a Red Hat role. So if you see the directory roles there, and inside roles we have all the RHEL system roles that you have to install during the exam. So you also have to copy them. Just check out the earlier videos. I'm not going to go into that, but here's the one that we need and want. So let's do less roles in this one. Let's do the README. There's always a README markdown file. Let's look at that one. So why are we using a role? Well, technically it's going to save us time. It's going to be quicker. It's safer actually. And so if you're in production, it works with RHEL 7, 8, 9, 10. It installs the necessary files. You can do a bunch of things within the same playbook. So manage ports, logins, set and get file contexts, booleans, and etc. Restore con and enforce permissive and disable. And so you can do all that from just that. And I just checked out the equivalent thing within the community. So if we check out this one, I just searched for SE Linux, you would have 4 different modules that you would need. and use to do the same thing. So I just encourage you for the certification, if you're doing playbooks like that are not rel specific and not for the exam, of course you would just use these, but we're focusing on the exam. So if we scroll down here, I know what I'm looking for because I've done this before. So these are the two variables that we're going to start with. And let's do vars. And for some people, I'm going too fast. For other people, I'm not going fast enough. So watch it again if you have to. Slow it down to 0.75. I don't know. Just click like and subscribe. I love saying that. It just sounds so borat-y. I don't know. Yeah. So now let's go actually read the documentation. I know this is really important that you check this out. You know what you're doing, but since we're just setting it to either disabled or enabled, this is like the really important part. So this SELinux transactional update reboot, okay, this is for an immutable thing, and we're not going to have to do that for the exam. So let's focus on this one, SELinux reboot required. So this custom fact is set to true if the system reboot is necessary when SELinux is set from disabled to enabled or vice versa. So it's not from enabled to permissive. That's not going to reboot your server, just so you know. Otherwise, the fact is set to false. And so, this is actually pretty important for us to know, because if we need to use a block rescue construct, which we've done in a previous video, so we should kind of know something about that. The reboot needs to be performed in the playbook. The role itself never reboots the managed host. Important. After the reboot, the role needs to be reapplied to finish the changes. So that's good to know. So what do we do? So we need a block and we need a rescue, because the rescue is necessary if it's set to false, because then then it's going to jump to the rescue section and then run whatever we have in there. So let's do name. I don't know, block thing. I'm going to fix this. I suck at naming stuff on the fly. Name, and then we're going to do a block. And then here we have to do a name again. Name. Import role, Ansible, built-in. See, I'm just like you. I can't remember everything. So grep role. Let's see all the modules for role. And important, know the difference between import and include role. We're going to use include. And for that one, I know it's a name, but if you need, just know that you can do Ansible doc in the name of the module. You get examples. You know that if you've been following along. So name, that's the name of the roles. Plural, role, singular, hello. Somebody needs something. So what's currently happening so far? So we're going to run this block. It is going to run this role. It's going to take all the variables that are set here and execute the roles accordingly. Now, if this turns out to be, let's first check. Let's do something cool. Ansible node 3, was it? And the default module is the command module. So what we can actually just do right now is just feed in an argument, SE status. See what's happening. So on node 3, SELinux status is enabled, targeted, enforcing. So targeted is like the 99.9% of servers. If you ever need MLS, you're talking about like CIA NSA, alien stuff. So we don't need multi-level security. That's if you need to set specific labels like highly classified X-file stuff. So we're not doing that. So, and also get enforce. And if you are asking yourself, how do you know which commands to run? That's why the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator is a kind of necessary. I feel like you have to do that first. Then you know how this cookie crumbles. As you can see, it is enforcing on node 3. So good to know. So if it is set to enforcing, let's set it to disabled, disabled. And you might ask me, Arminator, how do you know what options there are? Less, roles, rel, SELinux, readme.md again. And so, somewhere, type. See, allowed values for SELinux states are disabled, enforcing, permissive. So we're going to set it to disabled. That is actually should, if everything works, trigger a reboot because now it's set to enabled. This, I don't know why I'm pointing. It runs roll and it's going to come back false, and then it's going to jump to the rescue. I hope you're following along. Name. So we're going to fail fast. This is another really crucial thing. Ansible built-in fail. Why, you ask? Roll error. This is really important when, what was the name of, yeah, here it is. The fact name. When not, so not SELinux required default, let's set it to false. So what's happening here is if we get to rescue, where the role is set to false, we get to rescue, and SELinux reboot required is not set. So, and also if the variable is not created, we want the default to be false. So otherwise it would just crash out. So we want a role error to catch any errors that are actually outside of a reboot being required. Follow along? And let me see, name, reboot, and Ansible built-in reboot. What was it? Ansible doc reboot. There's a timeout thing in the examples. Reboot timeout. So let's use this one. This is good. So why should we put this in here? The default Ansible timeout is 10 minutes, I believe. So if this was on a production server that had a lot of data, terabytes, it was actually timeout. So this gives us an hour. That is plentiful. Name and reapply the role. Remember that we had to reapply the role. Ansible built-in include role. We had to reapply the role after reboot. Like that. So I hope something fails. I hope you get like probably the most thing that's complex right here is this. But this is default false is just because, like I said, if this is not actually set, if it gets to the rescue before this is set, everything would fail. We want the default then to be false and get this nice message, role error. And so I just hope that you get this because we want everything to fail before a reboot. If this is not set, then something else is wrong. So does this everything look okay? Let's just run this. Where am I? Okay, in the correct place. Ansible playbook selinux.yaml. Then I have an example file that I'm just gonna put into the repo that we can talk about later. Let's just run this. Let's see what's happening. Let's also open SSH node Ansible node 3. One's up and running. So failed. Reboot is required. Okay, let's just go over what's actually happening. So this is kind of cool. Gathering facts, import the role, ensure SELinux packages. So the role does all these things that are really necessary and really cool, actually, that we need. So doing this with your own playbook, especially during the exam, would be a lot of work. See, SELinux state temporarily changed from enforcing to permissive. State change will there. Okay, that's something else. That's what I was going to look at. Here it is. See, this is a fail, which is kind of cool because this is what we wanted. Fail if reboot is required. Failed. Reboot is required to apply changes. So now it reboots. Oh, right here, reboots. And then it reapplies the role. So because this was failed, it jumped to the rescue block. And so reboot reapplies the role and makes sure that everything is up to code. I'm just looking over everything. SELinux is disabled on system. That's what we wanted to do. So it's been changed. So we could do Ansible node 3 argument SE status disabled. So just put that up on the screen, up to the top, get enforced, disabled. So that's a success. If I'm just trying to figure out and wonder if there's anything that we need to address, figure out. This is probably the quickest, the best way to change the SELinux state during an exam and in production, definitely. So I'm just going to leave you with that, with this. This is, of course, going to be on the repository, uploaded. And yeah, thank you for watching. And until the next time, appreciate you all. Bye.